Hello, I'm Danny,
And I'm Jake.
and this is Marvel Talk.
That's right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Marvel Talk. Another fantastic episode here during all this crazy situation in the world. And we do have some things to talk about, man. So I thought, you know what, we do have to come back and just do some classic Marvel talk.
Oh yeah, we got a few news items. We got a few things going on during the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, as it is referred to on the Game Grumps podcast.
Yeah, they're still They're still going hard. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, thankfully, neither of us have gotten tickets to the tour. And there's a lot of people who want tickets, but they shouldn't be getting them. But you know, whatever. But we're making it through, guys. But I think we've got some new stuff. Like even in the wake of all this, all these big studios still are trying to make stuff happen.
Yeah, so we could go ahead and get to some of the stuff. I figured we could just start with some DC because there's really nothing too crazy going on that end. But I will say I was at the gas station earlier today, Jake, and I thought it was just funny. Because I was waiting in line and I looked at the aisle and I saw a bag of Doritos with Wonder Woman on it. And it says,
"Oh no,
yeah, in theaters June 5th." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Oh, that's old merchandise. Uh-oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
No, June 5th was the original date, right? It
Yeah.
got postponed in November. Is that right?
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Ooh, man. Oh, you know, speaking of postponed movie dates, I bought Frosted Flakes today that had a SpongeBob pack in, and I'm like, that movie's not coming out in theaters anytime soon. Oh no. I was like, that's really rough. Yeah, no, I'm pretty stoked still for Wonder Woman. I can't wait for it to get here. I honestly like the DC movies are what I'm still hyped for, I think, at this point.
Oh yeah, same here. And you know what? I think November is a good month for the Wonder Woman 84 because I believe the first one also came out in November, right?
Yeah, I think the first one also came out in November. Like that little like 2-month time slot of November, December is just like it works really well for DC's releases.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got Joker, we got Aquaman, Shazam came out in the spring, and maybe it should have come out at Christmas. I don't know. It is a Christmas movie. Yeah, it seems like all their winter releases do a really good job.
I always bring it up, but like how it's always crowded during summertime for these big comic book movies, and it's always nice to have it be on its own thing. I think that's why I liked it when Ragnarok dropped because I think that was also a November film, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one also came out in November. I think Doctor Strange was in November. Yeah, November 4th. I got the poster up here in my room, so there it is.
You know, it really gives it like that breathing room that it needs.
Yeah, but what did we hear this week about the good old DC universe?
So nothing really movie wise. I didn't catch anything. However, on the TV side, I did see Swamp Thing. Right, if you remember, this was the DC Universe show that sadly got canceled, and it's on Blu-ray and DVD already. And it says the complete series, which is also sad to see.
Yeah, but obviously that title will be wrong now on those Blu-ray boxes. So get them while you can before they change that label, because it's coming back, baby. Swamp Thing's back. Yeah,
it's coming back, and it's swinging over to the CW.
I think that's going to be a really good spot for Swamp Thing, because like as much as corny as CW writing can get, I think Swamp Thing will kind of fight against that because it's just so weird and dark. Like, oh man, can you imagine the Constantine Swamp Thing crossover we're gonna get, dude?
Man, I really hope we get it, man. Yeah, because I know Matt Ryan, you know, the actor for Constantine. He loves playing the character. And I'm sure he would love to do this crossover. I mean, he also don't forget he also does the voice for the animated stuff as well.
Yes, which I believe he did in Justice League Dark that just came out, which I've heard is really good, but I haven't seen yet. That one I definitely want to check out.
Yeah, so that is the final movie for the DC animated universe that they've built up since Flashpoint many years ago.
Is it since Flashpoint, or was it before that? I thought that this DC animated universe started with the first Doomsday movie. Not the second version of Doomsday, like the Death and Reign of Superman movies,
Hmm.
but I thought it started with that first Doomsday one because like First Flight and Emerald Knights were both part of it. Like the two Green Lantern animated movies.
Because I know the when I look it up, it did say Flashpoint starts because the movie right after
Mm.
Flashpoint is Justice League War, and then the one after that was Justice League Throne of Atlantis, and that's when like the movie started connecting.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense
Yeah,
then.
there was all
Yeah.
the Batman films, and then we got Teen Titans versus Justice League, the Judas Contract film.
And then all of those movies share the same like costumes and stuff across the board.
Yeah, same art style. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They share that new 52 suit on Superman throughout
Hmm.
all those movies, which I'm like that's the worst Superman costume. Oh gosh, terrible.
But we do get that new Wonder Woman costume, which I think is fantastic.
Yes, the Wonder Woman costume is great. That one's super good. But yeah, rest in peace to the current DC animated universe, man. I'm very curious about where they're gonna take it after this, and I'm kind of hoping it's not uh related at all to Harley Quinn. Like the animated series that's currently on.
Yeah,
Ooh
yeah,
boy, if
yeah.
that's what sparks the next animated universe movies, I think I'm out. I don't think I need to watch those.
It's pretty clear, guys. Yeah, we're not fans of this Harley Quinn show.
Believe me, I've tried to watch episodes. I just can't get into it. It's the style of comedy of it is just not like it's trying really hard to be like Teen Titans Go but for adults. But I feel like Teen Titans Go is better because it's not crass and like it Teen Titans Go is much more aware of what it is, I think.
Hmm.
Whereas Harley Quinn is just being too try hard to me. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's Harley Quinn as the main character. I think you could make a show work like that. I just don't think this show is funny.
Yeah, same here. I've only seen clips on Twitter because I'm not trying to really watch this show. And yeah,
Yeah.
you can really tell by just the dialogue alone. It's really saying like, "Hey, look, guys, we're the edgier, like you said, Teen Titans Go. You know, you guys
Yeah.
will like this, right? It's Harley Quinn, like your favorite DC character, man."
And don't you like all these tongue-in-cheek jokes that we keep making and all these awkward situations we put Batman and Robin in? Wink, wink. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. That's cool.
Yeah, but apparently, man, like I'm guessing it's pretty popular from what I've seen, which is
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah. I mean, it's probably popular in the same sense that the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie was popular,
Hmm.
um, in that it's doing relatively well, but probably not like crazy good. I don't know. It's hard to tell with the streaming service stuff. I think.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yep. But Swamp Thing coming to CW. I'm excited to see where they take the show. I haven't been able to watch too many episodes of season one yet, but it'll be nice to just kind of see a weird, creepy show continued like that because it's real spooky and strange and weird. What other stuff was in that purchase that CW made?
Yeah, they had like two other shows on there that I saw.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were getting more DC Universe stuff.
Yeah, no, Swamp Thing was the only DC thing that they picked up. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do with Swamp Thing. I'm gonna assume it's probably similar to what they did with Constantine, the show, because if you remember, that was who did that? Was that
CBS
CBS?
was the one that started that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be like the same kind of situation probably as like Constantine and Supergirl, because Supergirl was like that too.
Yeah, Supergirl was CBS as well. Yeah, yeah. And
Wait, was Supergirl
or
CBS?
was it NBC?
I think Supergirl was NBC,
NBC. Oh,
and
okay.
then Constantine was CBS. Now Swamp Thing is DC Universe app coming over to CW. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, so my guess is they're probably going to put season one eventually on the CW Seed. That's the free app you can get for CW, so you can watch stuff there. Because season one of Constantine is on there as well, that you can watch,
Yeah. Okay.
as well as the Constantine movie that's in there. And
Oh, like the The Keanu Reeves one?
No. It's the animated one with Matt Ryan.
Oh, gotcha.
I forget the
Yeah, that makes
subtitle. It's
sense.
like Demon something. And then I found
Yeah,
out
Demon.
when I was looking into the animated universe,
City of Demons.
City of Demons. Yeah,
There it is.
that movie's connected to the animated universe apparently.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wait, City of Demons is a series.
Okay, it says series, but when it
Yeah,
came
yeah.
out, it's only one. It was like only one movie when I watched it.
Oh, yeah, there's 5 episodes to the series.
Oh yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
it's just put up as a movie.
Yeah, they're cut up into like very short pieces.
Like 5 or like 10 minutes or something like that.
Hmm. And the if you buy the Blu-ray for it, I think it's just like a movie basically.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't too bad. I checked that out when it dropped. It was pretty good.
Sweet. Yeah, that seems like a fun one. I'll have to check that out. Oh, you know what I did see? I don't know if you got to watch it yet, but I watched the new Mortal Kombat cartoon movie, the animated movie,
Oh, the Scorpion one,
The
right?
Scorpion's Revenge. Yeah, that movie's great, dude. That one was really solid as like as like a retelling of like the story of the first game. Pretty good. I gotta say, the fight scenes are awesome, and the kills and stuff are all really violent, which is perfect for Mortal Kombat. And all the voice acting in it's really good. Joel McHale plays Johnny Cage,
Oh, nice.
which is like inspired casting. I'm like, yeah, no, that's who he would play in real life. I would love that. And he does do the nut punch. Johnny Cage does do the nut punch in the movie. So
Heck yeah, man.
they hit the things that I needed them to hit.
Yeah, I remember I saw the trailer for that, and I love the art style. I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, it was really solid. So I'd recommend that one. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. You know, pretty good. If I just wish it was like a little longer, I guess.
Mm.
Was my only thing. I was like, yeah, it's good, but it's only an hour and a half. I want more.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, you know, like it's good for what it is, but it's like I just want more.
Isn't it like there's a subtext to it, right? It's like Mortal Kombat. Was it Origins or something?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Origins, like Scorpion's
Okay.
Revenge. So it's possible we'll see other Mortal Kombat movies um from this like series of stuff down the line. I hope we do because that would be pretty cool. I'd be down for like a full on Sub-Zero or like a full Liu Kang movie or heck, give me a Raiden, man. Raiden movie would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, did you see who the new character is in the newest update for Mortal Kombat,
Yeah,
the newest game?
since we're talking about Mortal Kombat, yeah, they're doing a DLC story, and they showed off two characters that are returning, and then one crossover character coming in, and it's none other than RoboCop.
So good, man. So good. When he shows up and he's like, "You're coming with me, dead or alive." I'm like, "Yes. Yes." That's so good. I'm excited. I can't believe you're going to be able to do RoboCop versus Terminator in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, man, that's the first thing I thought of, and I was like, I was like, I wasn't expecting them to pick RoboCop, but you know what? It fits.
Oh my gosh. You know, the only other character they need to put in this like or I guess they need to put 2 characters, but they need to put Predator in this
Yeah,
cuz
bring them
there's
back.
like because there's RoboCop versus Predator, and then there's like Terminator versus Predator video games. Like both of those
Mm.
exist. So I'm like, bring back Predator, and then we can just have the trifecta. Like, but if you do Predator, you got to do an alien. So I'm assuming we'd get an alien at that point. And then is Mortal Kombat becoming like the new Smash Bros? Like, is that is that
Yeah,
what's
and
happening?
yeah, NetherRealm's they've been doing that for the past few games. Like
Yeah.
Injustice 2, they had the Ninja Turtles, Hellboy.
Yep.
Um,
And then I'm thinking like they had
I
like the
forgot who else
DC
was in there.
versus Mortal Kombat game like a while back. Um,
Oh yeah, the OG. Yeah, yeah.
yep.
Warner Brothers, NetherRealms, they're partners, so that's still DC talk. Yeah,
Yeah. It all connects back, you know?
yeah.
Like
But yeah, other than that there was really nothing else for DC.
yeah, I think that's about all we heard.
Yeah, other than just only Wonder Woman this year, and I haven't heard any pushbacks yet for the other films.
Oh, I guess I don't remember if we talked about it last time, but there was that big announcement of like all of the DC films got like pushed back by a certain amount, like Shazam and all that kind of stuff. Um, but Shazam 2 is officially like moving ahead, which is cool.
Oh,
And has
nice.
like that release date and everything. So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. That's fun. That makes me happy. There's a thing to look forward to." But yeah, I think that's it on the DC front. You wanna talk about a little bit of Star Wars?
Yeah, man. So not that long ago was May 4th, right? Annual Star Wars Day for all
Yup.
for all the fans out there, and I guess I haven't brought it up, but I just decided to rewatch Clone Wars for a bit. Uh,
Yes, good, excellent. And once you get to that final season, baby, we're doing an episode, man. Whew.
oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, that final season. Oh man. More like the final four episodes. Ha.
yeah, man. So I'm still on season one. I'm just kind of just casually going through it. I'm not in the binging mood right now, as doing other stuff over here as well.
Yeah, yeah. You're doing the essential stuff, man.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah. But other than that, you recently rewatched the prequels, if I'm not mistaken, Jake.
Yes, yes, I did. I went on a major rewatch because I was Clone Wars got me in the mood for that prequel content because I was keeping up with those episodes as they were dropping, and I was like, I haven't seen these movies in a while, and it was a good trip down memory lane. And having learned so much about how movies are made and stuff, I've come to appreciate them a lot more. But there are still issues. It's true, there are still problems. But I think everybody out there should give episode 2 another chance. I think episode 2 is a lot better than people give it credit for. Um, just because Anakin whines a little bit in that movie doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
come on. Hayden Christensen did the best with what he could, man. Um, and there's just so much passion and stuff behind it. It's just really refreshing to watch those movies after having seen all these sequel films because the prequels are just so like well crafted in their worlds and like everything feels really well thought out in terms of the logic of all this expanded universe stuff and it makes everything in Star Wars feel so much bigger, but the sequels are just like, no, it's just these people again. It's only like five people. I'm like, come on, man. How do we go backwards from that? I don't understand. So I don't know. It was a great time. I had a blast rewatching those movies. So go back and rewatch them. Give them another chance. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get back into those myself. It's been a good minute since I watched them, and
Oh yeah.
Clone Wars has definitely given me those that feel to go back. And
Oh yeah. And the final four episodes. Whew. You're gonna have to watch episode 3 like right before the final four episodes because they like take place like right next to each other basically.
mm.
Um, yeah, it's great stuff.
And I guess I should also add too. I recently rewatched a clip from the original Clone Wars cartoon, the 2D one, and
Okay.
I was like, man,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just bummed out that show is not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not. Like that one is such a good. I guess it must be caught up in rights stuff with Gendy. I would assume because Gendy does have some weird rights stuff all the time with his content. Um, but it would be awesome if they can eventually get it on there. That would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind checking that out again. You know what other Star Wars content is not on Disney Plus? Solo is not on there.
Yeah, that's still on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I think so. I guess that must be why. But
Mm-hmm.
like Marvel movies are still on both. So I don't really understand why
Well,
Solo doesn't get to be. I don't know.
I
It's very
know
weird.
I know that I think the Marvel movies on Netflix are only on Netflix, right? I don't think those are on Disney Plus.
Well, I saw Avengers Infinity War on Netflix, I think the other day.
Yeah, that I don't think that's on Disney Plus, right?
No, it is cuz Endgame's on Disney Plus.
Mm,
That would be weird if they had Endgame but not Infinity War
because I
on
remember
Disney Plus.
that's why Captain Marvel didn't show up anywhere for a long time because they didn't want to
Oh,
put it on Netflix, right, for their deal. Same thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp. They didn't put it on Netflix because they wanted
yeah,
everything
yeah.
on Disney Plus, and I think their contracts end this year for those movies.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, I was just kind of strange that that Solo. I was like looking through the series. I was like, wait a minute, they're missing a movie in the Skywalker saga. What is this? Like, but
No,
yeah.
oh no, Solo's on here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't find it the other day. That's weird.
Hmm.
Hmm. Strange, Disney. Strange. Maybe it's just not well organized. I don't know.
Well, that
Uh.
too. I remember I told you the other day when I was gonna rewatch Clone Wars. I couldn't find the original seasons for some reason.
Oh yeah, and then there's that whole like weirdness with like the X-Men animated series and how like seasons like 2 through 4 are all out of order, like completely. I'm like, oh my God.
And that's not an uncommon thing. If we're talking about like old shows like that, because I have Danny Phantom on the collection on DVD, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
I want to rewatch it, So I went in. I got through most of the DVDs, and I was like, wait a minute, like where's like the episode where they're stuck on Skulker's Island, right? Like predators, basically. I researched it, and there's missing episodes, and the final season is out of order.
Oh my God, that's the worst.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
on a DVD release, like
Hmm.
that sucks like really bad on a DVD release. But I think it's kind of inexcusable to do on your streaming app. Like
Yeah, that too.
like
And
that's not hard to just fix the programming of where the episodes show up. Like that's
yeah,
just somebody being very lazy on the back end of Disney Plus. But hey, it's Disney Plus, so what's new? I don't know.
yeah. Speaking of X-Men, yeah, I watched the first episode the other day just to throw it on, and yeah, the thumbnail art that they picked for the little menu section is not the best.
No,
Um,
no, it's that X-Men menu art was pretty bad. I think it's just kind of it's very foretelling of how we're going to talk about some other X-Men content later on here. Um
yeah, yeah, roller coasters, right? Jeez.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, Disney's not doing super hot right now. But hey, well, yeah, whatever. Um but one thing that they did announce this week, Mr. Mandalorian over there, is that he's gonna have some new fun co-stars on his season. So we've had confirmation that casting has gone through for how do you say his name? Temuera uh something or other. Um
Hmm.
Jango Fett, basically, the guy who played Jango and all the clones, is coming back to Star Wars. Temuera Morrison, that's it. Aquaman's dad. That's his name. He's coming back, and he's going to be playing somebody in Mandalorian season 2. We don't have confirmation of who yet, but a lot of people are kind of saying it's either Boba Fett or Captain Rex.
Which is going to be interesting, right?
Yeah. But I am starting to lean more towards the fact that it'll probably end up being Rex, because they also announced a new casting today for Mandalorian season 2, with Katie Sackhoff is reprising her role as Bo Katan.
That's right.
The leader, yeah, the leader of the Mandalorians is coming back. I don't know what time period Mandalorian takes place in anymore, man.
Well, here's what I was thinking about this when we were mentioning this in our group chats. There's always the potential of a flashback arc for season 2.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking of. So that could be how they get like Captain Rex, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, like
Hmm.
all those people can show up. Because this final 4 episodes of Clone Wars puts all of those characters very close together at the end of the season.
Oh, I
Um,
see. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's I can see why these 3 characters would be the ones kind of carrying forward, because they're the biggest thing right now on the rest of their streaming app. So it's like, oh, hey, here's another reason to watch Mandalorian season 2. You're gonna see all these characters that you just watched earlier this year in the Clone Wars season. So go check it out.
Hmm.
So pretty smart move, I think, on the part of John Favreau and Mr. Filoni to bring all these characters and cross them over into it.
Yeah.
And it'll be really fun to see all these characters, I think, in live action. I think it'll be really interesting to see how they all turn out. And it's just going to show me, man, like Filoni really needs to be the guy in charge of this stuff. Like he understands Star Wars better than like anybody else right now.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job. Yeah. Hey, didn't Disney Plus drop something new for Star Wars, like a behind the scenes thing or something?
Yeah, they just dropped it was a behind the scenes special on the sequel trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot of J.J. Abrams patting himself on the back for doing a good job
Okay.
with all these practical effects that you barely see in his movie.
All right, never mind. Never mind then.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was for
uh,
something else.
but I do know there was I think there was like a roundtable interview thing that came out. I don't know if that was specifically on Disney Plus or if it's just on YouTube, but it had like Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and then a couple other higher up Star Wars people and some actors and stuff, all just kind of going around and talking about what they like about Star Wars. And it's a very good watch. Filoni says some very profound things about the prequel movies that I'm like, yeah, he understands why these things were done the way they were. That's cool.
Nice, nice. That's good.
But I don't know if there's anything else Star Warsy really right now. No movie announcements or nothing like that. So just more Mandalorian.
Yeah, just Mando stuff. Yeah. Oh well, if actually if we're speaking Star Wars, there was the other news for Jedi Fallen Order. There's gonna be a free DLC thing for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. It looks like it's just like one extra costume and then like a new battle mode where it's like a almost like a boss rush type deal. Um, but it's free, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking on the video game front, Battlefront 2 just got its final update this past week.
Oh, nice.
Or like in the last couple weeks. So the latest update added in, I believe, Felucia to the thing. As like a new battle zone. Oh no, sorry, not Felucia. The Battle of Scarif got added to the game. So we now have the battle from Rogue One in there as a free update.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then a bunch of the characters got like new costumes. Like Darth Maul got his Clone Wars look with the robot legs as like a free update thing. And then they added all the Rise of Skywalker skins to it and stuff. So yeah, man, Battlefront 2 is fully loaded now. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't picked it up yet to pick it up. It's still super fun. The online community for it is still really strong, and it's come a long way since its release, I think.
Oh yeah, because there was
Especially,
a lot of backlash on that game when it came out.
oh yeah, and I think that DICE themselves, because I definitely don't think it's EA, but DICE itself has done a lot to make this game what it should have been from the beginning. And the fact that you can get it now for only $20 is amazing. So everybody should go get it. It's $20. I don't just go buy it.
Yeah, man. You know what? There was one other Star Wars news announced that we forgot. Oh, do you know what it is, Jake?
What is this the feminine led Star Wars property that Kathleen Kennedy announced under the radar? I made
Oh,
everybody
yeah, I
at
forgot about
Lucasfilm
that,
really
huh?
mad.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't really want to talk about that too much because I don't really care because it's just more Kathleen Kennedy silliness going on behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah, I forgot they brought that up. But that's not what I'm talking about actually.
No, oh okay. What did I miss?
No,
What
a new
happened?
Star Wars film is being talked about, and the director is going to be Taika Waititi.
Oh, that's right. Yep,
Yeah.
we're gonna get our Star Wars Ragnarok. I mean, what we do on the dark side. I mean, uh, yeah, we're getting a Star Wars movie from him.
Yeah, one of Disney's favorite directors coming back for a Disney property.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he did a good job with that one episode of Mando. Um,
I forget which one did he do?
he did either the second to last or the final episode, I think, of the
Oh,
season.
that's right. Yeah. It was fine.
Yeah, he did like one of the last two episodes. And it was a good episode. Like, don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. But nothing like stood out about it to me, apart from like, oh, it's the episode where the scout troopers are like having an argument at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's the second to last. That's right.
Yeah, I think so. But it's that episode where they're having like an argument at the beginning, and then like one scout trooper's like, "Well, let me see it," and the other one's like, "No," and I'm like, "Yeah, I get like this scene is funny, and I like seeing scout troopers like do stuff, but it's also like going on for a long time." And I'm like, "What's happening with the Mandalorian though?"
Yeah, that's where they punched Baby Yoda, right?
Yeah, that's where they punch Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Okay.
Good memes, good memes, I guess.
Yeah, memes.
Mhm. Forced memes.
Yeah. But you know what? Not a big surprise to see YTT come back on Disney's side.
No, it's really not. Especially with the fact that he's already working on Love and Thunder, so it
Yeah,
makes sense
that's right.
Disney
That
would
too.
want to add him in as one of their main like directors. Keep him on the payroll, you know.
Yeah, just like good old Russo brothers. I don't know if you saw they're going to direct that Hercules film.
Yep. Uh, which everybody's like fan casting Chris Pratt for, and I'm like, no, Chris Pratt's not Hercules. Like, I don't know who I would cast for it, but I get why. Like I
Yeah.
understand. Chris Pratt is a very he's a muscular, charismatic guy. But if I was gonna say anybody else was Hercules, it's like Chris Evans would be a better Hercules to me than Chris Pratt
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
or Chris Pine or
Oh, Chris Pratt. What's the other Chris? Other Chris's?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Honestly, Chris
um,
Hemsworth, maybe. I mean,
actually, yeah, Chris Hemsworth probably would make a really good Hercules.
yeah,
Um,
he'd be able to do his humor that he likes to do.
yeah, exactly. But I just don't think Chris Pratt's a good fit. I don't know. But that's
I
all the.
guess he kind of has the look with the way his jawline is and his hair. I guess I could kind of.
Mm,
I don't know. I talked about this on our other podcast, and I was like, I just don't know who to pick. I wouldn't know who to
yeah, I
cast.
just honestly, I would go for an unknown. That's what I would
Mm,
do with Hercules. I wouldn't go for anybody big or anything like that. I would go for big characters for other things, and also the fact that like they're eyeing like what is it, Tom Hiddleston for Hades or whatever. I'm like, no, that's not James Woods. Like, come
yeah,
on, like Loki is not good for Hades. Like you gotta have somebody who's like a slick, fast talker, man. I don't know who I would cast though for Hades either.
yeah. All I know is for Hercules, they have to pick very carefully of who they want.
Yes, yes. Otherwise, it's just not gonna work.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. Taika Waititi doing Star Wars could be interesting. Could be fun. Um, it'll probably be a fun movie, at least.
Yeah, I wonder how if they're gonna continue to tie in with the Skywalker saga, or if they're just done, because that would definitely give them more freedom. I think that'd be the better choice for YTT.
We'll see. I could maybe see that if like their book series stuff goes really well, that
Mm,
they try to kind of adapt some of that stuff going forward into movies. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, the only thing I could probably think of for Taika would, I guess, be Solo 2 if they want to go forward with that.
No, that's a Lord and Miller thing, dude. God
I
dang it.
know, but
No.
like if we're
I would be
picking
so mad. Ugh.
if we're picking stuff we already know, it would probably be Solo
Yeah,
2.
yeah, and that's what's gonna tie back into Darth Maul and whatever. Man, Waititi with Chewbacca and the Hans. Oh God, no, I don't. I don't want it, dude. I don't want it. Don't do that. Don't listen to us about that one, Disney. Please don't.
Yeah, yeah.
have Taika Waititi do a movie about the Emperor. I think that would be great. Just get Ian McDermott back in there being goofy. Like, yeah, I'm into that. Do that.
Yeah, just something different. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we've heard about Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any more news about any like TV shows or nothing. So yeah, I guess that finally brings us to the main name of our show. Good old Marvel talking, baby. Yeah. So so there were some filming updates this past week. Because everybody's worried about those Disney Plus shows. Sounds like WandaVision's already done shooting, but they're getting back to shooting for Captain America or Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. That'll be cool.
Yeah, probably just reshoots.
Yeah, most likely. Just some pickup stuff. Hopefully, we get to see those sooner rather than later. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, because I didn't hear any pushbacks for the dates. I don't think.
Not for the Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
But I know for at least the Phase 4 movies, that got like a mate. Like, did we talk about that last time? I'm pretty sure we did, right?
When we talked about it last time, it was just a few movies that everything kind of just pushed down one.
Okay, but I know that we got confirmations on some extra titles and stuff, right? Like we got told about Black Panther 2, like Captain Marvel 2. I think both of those were actually like confirmed.
Yeah, we were given dates for those. I think didn't other movies get pushed back as well?
Yeah, like basically all the Phase 4 movies got pushed back by one release date. So like no Black Widow's now for this November, but Eternals got moved to the February slot, and then Shang-Chi got moved to May, and then Doctor Strange got moved out of there to November of next year. So it's like everything basically just got pushed back like one time slot,
Hmm.
I think. But then they also added in that's like, oh, but now we can also say that Black Panther's coming out at this date, and then Spider-Man's coming out after that, and then Captain Marvel 2 comes out after that. And it's like, how big is Phase 4 going to be? Like, geez.
Yeah, well, I think that also just plays into. Didn't they say like they're kind of like done with quote unquote the phases back a while back?
I think I had heard something about that. I don't really remember though. So I'd have to look up the info on it again.
Yeah. Well, as far as like I think acts like structures for like storytelling, I think like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
I
it's
think
not as
they're not
important.
doing the same way that they were doing it before. So
Hmm. Yeah. So, but then
okay, yes.
also as far as movies go, Black
Let's see.
Widow is not the only film that will be coming out this year for Marvel. I at least I guess I hope so. Still, right? It would have been out already, but one New Mutants still going on a roller coaster of news.
Yeah, we don't know where New Mutants is gonna drop yet, man. Like people are saying it's theaters, people are saying it's streaming services. Like there was a VOD link on Amazon, I think. What, like this past week sometime?
Yeah, there's somebody had a screenshot on Amazon where you could pre-order New Mutants to watch, and then I believe there was confirmation that they said that don't worry, it's still coming to theaters first.
Yeah, which I was like, how is that gonna work?
Yeah, like
Um,
when is that gonna happen?
yeah, I guess that can also bring us around to the whole like Universal scandal. Were you keeping up with any of that?
Oh, with the movie theaters, right? Yeah, that's some
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. With the movie theaters and stuff, I'm like, guys, the way movies are gonna get released is gonna shift like super hard. Like, and all these movie theaters are trying to fight against it, and it's just not gonna happen. So, which is really funny. Um,
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard, real quick, yeah, basically, movie theaters are not happy with Universal and other studios coming in here and saying, "Yeah, we're just gonna release the movies on stream rather than the theater." And yeah, they're just not too happy
well, not
about that,
rather than the theater. They said they're gonna be doing both.
or
Like they said
both
they're going to
too.
be
Yeah,
yeah, they said they're going to be they're doing simultaneous releases where it'll be on the same day that it's out in theaters, you can go home and buy it and watch it at home too.
yeah, and I guess they just really shouldn't be this upset, right? It's
Yeah, but it's I when I was taking like film history classes and stuff at school, like this is par for the course of how the film industry works though, is that
hmm
whenever there's like a new development of some kind, the whole industry just pushes back as hard as it can. just to like not let it happen. It's like television is coming out, so movie theaters are like, no, television's bad for you, it rots your
Hmm.
brain. And then like when color happened, like a bunch of film critics were all like, no, color's terrible for movies. Nobody's going to be able to understand what's going on. They'll be too distracted. They won't be able to see the filmmaking. Like it goes all the way back to like the very beginning. So um I don't know. I personally think that this is going to be really good for movies going forward, especially in the times that we're in right now. Um, it'll be a lot better. Uh, I don't know. I'm excited to see how movie studios move forward with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens because the big one of the big movies in questions was the Trolls World Tour.
Yep,
Yeah,
Trolls World Tour.
and it made like 100 million right first weekend on stream.
Yeah, just from doing the streaming service part of it, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah, and I think
that's
that's
pretty
like what
cool.
$20. I think it was.
Yeah, $20 to rent it for 48 hours
Yeah,
is what most streaming services have been doing. So
yeah. So that's pretty crazy. It still made those numbers, right? Because usually it's a kids movie, so you're gonna be buying multiple tickets, and for them to still make those
yeah,
numbers,
exactly.
just crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, honestly. And I don't know. I personally totally see that movie industry going this direction.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
but wait a
easily.
minute. What brought us here? Hold on. I'm trying to think.
Oh, New
Uh,
Mutants.
oh yeah, New Mutants getting linked up on Amazon Prime. Um, so who knows? Maybe we'll see it on streaming soon. That would be pretty tight.
Okay, yeah. So it was taken down shortly after on Amazon. Just going through this article,
Oh,
and then
interesting.
THR reports that New Mutants is still being planned for a theatrical release come hell or high water. Yeah, it's so crazy. And also we got those screenshots of the film recently, right?
Oh man, yeah, those new shots were absolutely amazing. I don't know if they were like were they confirmed to be leaked screenshots? Was that what it was?
I guess it has to be, right? I wonder if that was from the Amazon leak, I guess.
Oh man, like if somebody was able to get into the movie like on Amazon, is it possible there's a copy of the movie floating around somewhere?
Don't they have like screenshots for the movies? I don't really grab movies off of
Well,
Amazon.
sometimes movies oh, they could be off of that listing. That's very fair.
Yeah.
But I was kind of thinking that like if somebody managed to actually like watch part of the movie and take just screenshots at random points, but I highly doubt that was a thing.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
haven't
it
heard
could be that
anything
they came off the
for that.
Amazon list.
Yeah, and what we saw was it looked like all just third act stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so. Unless the weird Slender Man looking guy shows up in different points in the movie.
I think he does. Yeah, it looks great, right? Visually, it looks great. But I don't know with it
Yeah,
being not to spoil, but yeah, what happens in the third act is like typical third action stuff for comic book movies, I guess you would say.
I guess so. I don't know. It doesn't look like giant laser in the air problem though. It kind of just looks like it comes down to like more of a one-on-one fight.
Yeah,
So I wonder if this is going to be a little bit more of a personal battle for this character
mm, I
near the
would
end of
like
the
that a
film.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that the even though the imagery we're seeing is very bombastic in these pictures, I think that overall this will probably be a much smaller like style ending, which would be really cool. I'd be super into that. I saw on Dan Harmon's Instagram earlier, he posted this thing that was like a highlight of like some other article, and it said 500 reasons we should keep BuzzFeed around after the coronavirus is over, and I'm like, no, get rid of
Oh,
it. Oh,
dude, speaking of directors, we forgot to bring it up. That was pretty cool.
uh,
For Suicide Squad.
oh, what
Uh,
about Suicide Squad?
I think I shared it the other day. But so I guess because the Suicide Squad shows up in the DC animated universe, right? and
Mm-hmm.
I believe they make an appearance in this in the Dark Side movie. And somebody tweeted uh talking about, yeah, I have it right here. Yeah, they said it reminded, because there's a scene that happens in there that reminded them of Suicide Squad, and they heard that there was a scene where Joker was trying to make a deal with Enchantress, right, to get Harley
Oh,
Quinn.
I remember hearing about this. Yes, I want to see this version of the movie.
Yes, and David
Yes.
Ayer
Okay.
retweeted it and said it was filmed. He talked about a couple other stuff involving Suicide Squad as well.
Oh, that's great. All right, DC. Here's what you need to do. We need a 2-pack of the Snyder cut of Justice League and the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Give it to me for $50. I'll buy it. I don't even care. I'm down. I'm in. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, just remember the final cut for Suicide Squad was from a company that specializes in movie trailers. So
Yes.
yeah, I think there was like 4 versions of Suicide Squad.
Yeah. There was a few different versions, and they were like, I guess like the original like thing that everybody got like told in the media was that, oh yeah, no, it just didn't do well with test screenings, which is why we changed it and had the editing house recut it. And I'm so stupid.
Oh, I guess apparently like Steppenwolf showed up at one point or something for
Oh, that
Suicide
would have been
Squad.
cool.
Because because somebody was saying like they rewatched Justice League War, and then in that movie with when Apocalypse or when Darkseid shows up, he like starts taking people, like he takes control of them to help fight. And he's like,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure David Ayer would have wanted to do that with Enchantress, since he
Oh
said
yeah,
that
100%.
Steppenwolf was a villain in it, and he just replied like, "Yep," and that basically started this thread of other stuff that David Ayer is just
Man,
confirming on here. Yeah,
dang.
it's pretty wild, man.
Man, speak
It's
pretty wild. It's crazy how there's so many outspoken creatives right now in the industry currently. Um, there's a lot of outspoken creatives going on. Uh, including like our little friend Mr. Rob Liefeld had some words to say this past week.
yeah, man.
Pretty nasty stuff. If I'm gonna be honest here. Um,
Yes. So we're talking about Deadpool 3, right, guys? And what's the brief history of Deadpool 3 with Disney? Disney promised, hey, yeah, it's still going to be rated R. Don't worry. A lot of
yep.
people were happy about that part. And then Ryan Reynolds was on like a daytime show, like I think last year, like early last year. And they asked him what's
Hmm.
going on with that movie. And he's like, oh, yeah, we're working with Disney. It's the big leagues now. So we're trying to get everything into order. Like basically just jargon, right? Trying to get around the
And didn't
bush
he
saying,
put and he put up that like that weird random Instagram post where it was like him in front of the Marvel Studios like building or whatever. And I'm like, okay, interesting.
yeah, I remember he did that.
Yeah, but that I was like, that doesn't lead to anything though. That's just him going and having a meeting.
Yeah, it's more of just like, let's just tease these guys what's going on, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said, our boy Rob Liefeld, the 90s himself, was on a podcast recently, correct?
Yes. He was on a recent podcast where he shared many of his thoughts and feelings about the Deadpool franchise going forward. Um, and a lot of them were not super kind words. I tend to think that Rob Liefeld might end up becoming sort of an Alan Moore in the future,
Mm,
um, with how this is going. Because essentially what he was like, to boil it down, he was saying that Disney isn't really doesn't really have any plans to use Deadpool in the near future, and he was saying that essentially if they were to start working on a Deadpool movie now, it wouldn't be out for like another 4 years, like development time wise.
right.
Um, okay, that's all this stuff is like pretty sad to hear that Disney isn't really like caring about it at all. Um, and I had a discussion with that on like my Facebook feed with one of my friends about it, and I was like, if Marvel really wanted to keep Deadpool strong and going, they definitely could, because that's what they did with Spider-Man. Like they didn't care that Spider-Man had a movie like the year before. Like they just made a new Spider-Man movie with like a new actor. You know what I mean? Um, and I
Yeah.
and I wonder if it has a lot to do with the fact that Disney doesn't like to give creative control out to very many directors and stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, look at Ant-Man, look at Age of Ultron, um, like
Ragnarok, or
all
not
these
Ragnarok,
Rag,
Dark
not
World,
Ragnarok, Dark World, all these movies where these
Incredible
directors had
Hulk.
humongous, yeah, Incredible Hulk, like they all had great, humongous ideas, and then Disney comes in and says, well, we don't really agree with this part or that part or these little things. Um, so I think there's a little bit of that going on probably with behind the scenes of Deadpool. Uh, so that might be why it's kind of like we're just waiting. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part is definitely Disney was not like, like there's a layout Feige has for the MCU, right? And
Oh yeah,
when it gets shaken up, things happen that's not necessary. It's not always the best, I mean, it does pull out like good sometimes, but uh acquiring all of Fox's stuff and trying to figure out what we have to do with it is definitely a
yeah,
big hurdle. I could see. I mean, I think it was Marcus McFeely when they were on. I think that when they were on Kevin Smith's podcast, right? They mentioned that they were writing the script for Civil War, and this was during the time of whether or not they knew they were going to get Spider-Man, and then like very late into writing the script, Feige asked them like, "Could we fit Spider-Man in because we can get this guy in the movie?"
yeah. I remember hearing about that. And then they were able to. So I'm like, I feel like Deadpool could have been along those lines, but they
Mm-hmm.
just don't. Maybe they just don't have like a movie for him to be in. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. But
Well,
if they just wanted to make a Deadpool 3, then like they could. Like I don't feel like there would be any problem with them just making a third Deadpool movie.
I think I could see the problem on Feige's standpoint, right? Because as we know, Feige likes to have control of everything involving in his stories, right? And that's why,
Yep.
like, we'll get to it later, but that's why Ages of Shield never really connected to the movies like it should have,
Yeah.
right? Because that was
Exactly.
all, what's his name for Marvel TV? I forget his name.
Oh, was there a specific guy? I don't remember his name
Yeah,
either.
he was like the Feige for Marvel TV, and then they would butt heads. So, and that was another reason why. But Feige's not in
Mhm.
control of that, and so now he's in control of this stuff. But if you're to do a Deadpool 3, it would have to really continue off of what the last two movies did, right? And the last movie was setting up X-Force, right? And the X-Men are heavily involved. And I can understand you not really wanting to add stuff you didn't focus on previously and throw it in there. But at the same time, Deadpool's a fourth wall character. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I really don't feel like a Deadpool 3 would have to fit in with the rest of the MCU. Like you could have MCU characters pop up in it, but it doesn't necessarily need to fit in with continuity. Um, but that's what Kevin Feige supposedly is all about until he got the Spider-Man Homecoming and then he said screw it. But I don't
Well,
know.
I think
Um,
the Homecoming stuff is mainly on the writers, I guess, or
well,
because you're talking about the timeline stuff, right?
yeah, like the 8 years later and all that kind of
Yeah,
jazz. But I
yeah.
also think a lot of those problems came from the fact that Homecoming only was made in 9 months. Like I still
Hmm.
think that that's insane. Like nobody talks about that. That the Homecoming movie was shot, edited, and put into theaters in 9 months. Like and I think that's why that movie is so rough for me to watch because I'm just like it just feels rushed. Like when
Hmm.
every time I watch it. Um, which is why I think Far From Home is a better movie, but Far From Home is still just kind of whatever. But like they could have done something like that with Deadpool, but it sounds like everyone involved with Deadpool, otherwise, like Ryan Reynolds and Rob Liefeld and stuff, like they'd want to take more time and take more care to make the movie good, as opposed to just getting it out.
Yeah, and
So
thinking about it right now, honestly, you know what they could do, which it probably would have been a tight squeeze, but they could fit it in easy since Doctor Strange. is dealing with multiverse stuff, right? I'm not saying have Deadpool in there, but have Deadpool 3 come out around the same time. And that movie is
Oh
just
yeah,
about him dimension hopping into other universes, right? Going on this wacky adventure, and then he could stumble upon Doctor Strange in one scene, right? And then you could just continue the movie, and then a post-credit scene or the final shot of the movie is him stuck in the MCU.
yeah,
I could
that
see
would be
that
cool.
happening.
That would be a good way to work him in. It's just too bad that it's like kind of dead in the water, I guess. Because I think a lot of people were excited for X-Men to like come back to the MCU, but
Mm-hmm.
Marvel itself wasn't excited about it. Like they didn't care. They were like, "Oh, we have it now." Okay.
Yeah, and I think we haven't. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the show here, but if they want to introduce the X-Men into the MCU, right, as much as a lot of us want to see, it's not going to be what we're probably going to imagine, right? Because you have to be able to fit in the characters into the current timeline of the franchise, right? And they are, what
Yep.
was it, 2023, 2024?
Yeah, exactly. We're so far forward that you could never have Magneto
Yeah.
the way that he is in the comic books, because his origin story is so dependent on the fact that he was involved in World War II, that it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And plus I doubt he would be able to still be kicking, right? In 2024.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's no way. Like that's why I did like X-Men First Class and that whole series of movies, because I loved that they were all like worked into like the time, like the real world timeline of stuff.
Yes.
That's something I always appreciated about all those movies.
Oh yeah, and especially when you're going into the other films too. Yeah.
Yeah, even if James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender don't age like at all between the films.
Yeah, don't forget they're supposed to be in their 50s or 60s in Dark Phoenix, and they just look.
Yeah,
the
they
same.
look really good. They look really good in Dark Phoenix, man. They look great.
Yeah, I didn't know magnetism slows down your aging. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so does having mental powers and being stuck in a wheelchair. You don't use your legs very much, so you're not putting too much shock or strain on your body.
No, Jake, you have to think about it. Remember, Charles could freeze people, right? He could just freeze them in space. So he's just doing that to his body. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, he's literally freezing the molecular structure of his system. Yeah, that makes sense. I buy that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's only really a few options you could do with introducing the X-Men, right?
Yeah.
I would like it this way. Have Scott, form the X-Men.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Like Scott, Jean, and maybe keep Beast around. You could do the
more modern version of like at least Professor X, because his origin story isn't necessarily steeped in anything historical. And they've had that newer version of Professor X in the comics where he's like up and walking around and he wears that crazy weird helmet with like the X going across the front and stuff. So like there are alternative versions of these characters you could do and make them work in a more modern setting, I think. But I just don't know what you do for Magneto.
You would have to do a whole rework of his character, right? You would have to have
like
him
from the ground up.
Have him just be a different background. With a different tragic past that fits into the era he would be born in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would like that. And I would really prefer them not using Charles and Magneto, because as much as I would like to see them still in the X-Men franchise, just having another origin set up for them is just not what we need for the MCU.
Yeah, I think it would be cooler if it was something like Cyclops and Havoc are like maybe the founders of stuff or something, or they're the ones currently running it. Like you could have Professor X and Magneto be people who were like figureheads of stuff like years ago for like this underground mutant movement or something. But I guess that would completely mess up with the fabric of the MCU, right? Because then that kind of implies that mutants have been around like for forever. But obviously they haven't been in the MCU.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Because I remember when I still watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the day, and they were doing all the Inhuman stuff for that season.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just seeing it and being like, oh man, this is like so much similar to how they would do X-Men in this franchise that I just don't know how they would just throw it in there, because you would just have to say like, oh, mutants are here now, maybe but see, they would have to
Well, you
explain
got
it already if it was during the time
but
skip,
see,
but
Danny, you gotta remember, Agents of Shield and the Inhumans never happened in the MCU.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They didn't happen. What do you? Those didn't make enough money, so they didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
So the only thing I could think of is if just mutants, something happens and that causes the creation of mutants.
Yeah, it would have to be something like that. Like it could be there could be a way to tie it in. Like okay, like what if they tied it in with when the second snap happened and the Hulk brought everybody back? What if he actually mutated a bunch of people
Yeah, I like that
in the
theory a lot.
process? Like mutants occur because of like the radiation from like the Infinity Stones and stuff with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Hmm. Yeah, I would like that, and I guess I would say to that, maybe push the movie forward a few years.
Yeah, yeah, like that would make sense.
At least up until like, but don't push it too far ahead to the next crossover movie, whatever that's going to be. But
Yeah, yeah.
just enough time to have mutants be a problem, and that way it won't also influence the future movies of the MCU, like with Black Panther and all that, right? Because they would definitely talk about mutants, like in Black Panther 2. If Captain Marvel ends up on Earth at some point, and if for the sequel, then I'm sure that would be brought up there as well. And
Oh yeah.
like there's like some kind of mutant threat, and Scott, I don't know, he finds other mutants, like he finds like Jean and maybe even Logan or something shows up, and like a few other fan favorites, and
You gotta have Nightcrawler, man. Like
yeah, probably like Nightcrawler.
Beast would be cool.
Yeah, Beast would be cool. And basically they would meet up, like I guess like befriend each other, and then they would decide like, you know what, we have to team up, we have to stop this threat, we have to show that mutants aren't all bad, like what's happening here, like basically them fighting the Brotherhood or something.
Yeah, like that would be pretty cool. I'd be into that. That'd be a
Yeah.
fun movie. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know how it's all gonna shake out later on as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many years we could keep pulling up for these MCU movies.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm I'm really hoping some of these things happen, but I don't know. Like the MCU is just like getting too far down the line, I think, for some of this stuff to happen. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the best quote you could say for this came from Hugh Jackman when they asked him. I think this was during Infinity War when it was coming out, and they asked him like,
okay.
"Would you do an Avengers film?" And he replies, "Oh, it was actually with Logan, I think, because Logan's was already over." And they asked him like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah, I
well,
think it was around that time. Yeah.
would you do
Like, would you do
an
an
Avengers
MCU
film?"
movie? Like, yeah.
And he just replied with, "Well, yes, 5 years ago. It's just too late for me to come into this universe, both age
Yeah,
wise
exactly.
and just
Yep.
a lot of
And
other
that was
stuff."
one of the things that's one of the things I'm worried about with like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, right? Is that I honestly don't know how many more years he actually has to be able to do the character, because Ryan Reynolds is getting up there. Um, and he was good in Six Underground, but he was definitely like the older guy in that movie. Speaking of which, if anybody hasn't seen Six Underground, you guys should see it. It's ridiculous. The disappearing and reappearing hat in the first 10 minutes is my favorite thing. Um,
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
still need to check that one out.
Yeah, Michael Bay does it again, man. He nailed doing another great silly goofy action movie. And I would almost say that Six Underground is a self-parody of Michael Bay and his films. I think he understands what a lot of people say about his movies now, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going with it."
Nice. And also,
Yep.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, he's been making quote unquote Deadpool movies for a good while already, anyways. Right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like Ryan, like Deadpool. The way he plays Deadpool is just him being Ryan Reynolds. I never watched it, but the trailers and him and Bodyguard clearly shows it. That
And
video,
then there's
that video
Yeah,
game
Hitman's
movie.
Bodyguard, 100%. He's just Deadpool. Even back to R.I.P.D. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
little
R.I.P.D.
known gem, the Rest in Peace department. I still actually really like that movie. Um,
Yeah, that was on TV the other day. Yeah.
yep. So, yeah, I would say that he's already put in his time a lot. You know, for all that stuff. I don't know. I hope he gets to play it one more time, but I also hope it's just not too late when he finally does do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a Deadpool 3 for sure. Mainly because I want to see what they're gonna do with his story still, and with Vanessa especially. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you were here when I brought up my theory for that, but like my theory for her was she was gonna be like Lady Death at some point.
Yes, I remember you talking about that. Um, it would be cool. Like I'd like to see the third movie kind of like finally pull it back around to being about that. Um, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
But who knows if Disney even cares about continuing any storylines from the first two movies? Like Disney might even go like, Josh Brolin can't be Cable anymore because he's Thanos, and that'll be confusing for people.
yeah. So basically, overall, what we're saying, guys, is it sucks to hear this news about Deadpool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I hope Deadpool is able to find its footing and keep going, but I don't know. I'm not holding out too much hope.
Sadly, no. Yeah, sadly, no.
Um, so I did just remember while we were talking about stuff, that there was another piece of DC news going around.
Oh.
There's been a Supergirl movie that's been in production for a while. Like it hasn't like gotten to the point where there's anybody casted or anything. But it's been in like pre-production.
Mm.
And a report came out this past week that they're kind of foregoing the Supergirl movie and they're going back to focusing on actually making a Superman movie and getting Henry Cavill back in the role. Which I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
please.
good. Do that. Nobody needs a Supergirl movie. We want a Superman movie. Come on. Um, I think if they're actually able to do it, like that would be awesome. And I would love if they could get that Superman movie made sometime like right after Shazam 2, because then we could have Zachary Levi as Shazam show up maybe in that Superman movie.
Tell you, man, I still want to see Superman fight Black Adam. He gets whooped, so that's why he has to recruit Billy Bat, right? So they could tag team
Yes.
on Black Adam. I think
Yes.
that's what you do, man.
That would be awesome. So you do the Black Adam movie, and then you do the second Shazam movie, but don't introduce Black Adam until like the post credits, right? And then the Superman movie that comes out, that's the Black Adam versus Superman. Boom.
Yes,
You got
yes.
it. There's your quadrilogy there.
And see, it would tie in nicely to the first Shazam, right? Because with the last scene with, you know, they could keep that continuity of like, oh, Shazam met Superman before.
Oh yeah.
Superman fights somebody who's similar to Shazam, loses. Then he's like, okay, well, I have to go get him because he might know what's going on.
Yes. Oh, that would be great.
It's perfect, man.
Ah, man, if that's how DC ends up working out, that's gonna be a great time. I'm excited about that if that's how it ends up going.
Yeah.
Um,
I would really hope so because, you know, a lot of people, a lot of fans are saying like, let's continue this journey of just like solo movies for DC, like not really connect them. And
yep.
I'm kind of on the opposite. Like, let's have a mix. Why can't we have a mix of both?
Yeah, I think we can have a good balance. I don't see any reason why you couldn't have both in the situation. So yeah, but that's that little bit of news on Superman there. I just saw it pop up on my feed, so I figured I'd drop it in there, little tidbit. It makes me happy to see DC stuff is kind of like not floating dead in the water. Like they're figuring out new ways to like take the series and do more movies and stuff. And you know, it feels like there's a bright future ahead of DC, whereas Marvel is just kind of like we're doing the same thing. We're gonna keep doing the same thing.
But you know what's crazy? I saw a tweet last week about Justice League, and this is an interesting take on it. Since we're talking about how good DC's doing, and the tweet was Justice League is one of the most important comic book films because it shows studios of what not to do with creative freedom on a film, right? Or like creative restrictions on a film. Because right after that we get Aquaman,
Yes.
and then we get
Yes.
Shazam, and then now
And
we're
then we
getting
get
Wonder
Joker.
Woman, and then we get Joker, yeah, and now we're getting Wonder Woman '84
like
to show it yet again.
yeah, pretty telling stuff, man, about what superhero movies how they should be treated, I guess. Like just let your filmmakers just make good movies first.
So I thought that was
Yep.
a really interesting take on Justice League, and I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah, 100%. I would 100% agree with that statement. Um and who knows, maybe we will see the eventual version um of the good version of Justice League. Fingers crossed one day that happens. I don't know.
HBO, I'm looking at you guys.
Yep. HBO Max is starting soon, dude.
Oh,
Starts
that's
up
right, huh?
this week, next week, somewhere in there. And they knocked down their price already to $12 a month, from 15. So they're already dropping their price before it even like comes out. So that's pretty cool. And they've announced they're gonna have a bunch of DC movies and cartoons and old TV shows and stuff on there. But the thing that I'm most excited about for it right now, new content wise, is they're doing new Looney Tunes episodes, um, like a whole new series of Looney Tunes. So
That's right,
I'm
huh?
pretty excited
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I'm thinking HBO Max might be the one that I subscribe to, man. It's looking pretty solid. Plus, that's where the Green Lantern show is eventually going to come out on. So I gotta be prepared to watch that series.
Yeah, don't forget they're gonna have the Green Lantern show on there as well. But on to other news. Ages of Shield. I'm not gonna lie. I thought this show ended last year already. Like as a lot of people did.
Yeah, I honestly thought last season was the final season, but no, they have one more. Just like Supernatural always seems to come back with one more season.
Yeah.
Um, that show will not die. It refuses. Oh, did you know that it's part of the DC universe now?
Oh,
That
Supernatural.
it's
Yeah, with Legends. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the car showed up. Like
Hmm.
like they found the boy's car like just in a field somewhere, and I was like, oh, that's fun. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Sam and Dean Winchester pop up in Legends of Tomorrow.
And I don't remember if Stephen Amell swung on over to Supernatural or not. I think they were trying to do that.
I
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember. I don't know. I haven't seen the final season yet of Supernats, so I don't know what happens in it and stuff.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
Yep. But once I watch it, maybe I'll report back. I don't know. We'll see.
we'll see.
But yeah, Agents of Shield final season got that new trailer, getting some time travel. Uh, it's been confirmed that we're gonna have a whole like an episode that crosses over with Agent Carter later in the season, which will be pretty cool. That show's not completely dead, I guess.
Yeah, it's Connor liked to bring it up. It's like, how is the show still here? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it has a strong fan base, I guess. It's
Yeah, it does have a pretty good following.
and look, I'll say this. I did drop Ages of Shield after the Ghost Rider season, but I will say, man, when Ages of Shield wants to get good, it can get pretty good. I
Yeah,
still
it's when they have good episodes, they're like really, really good. Like all the Absorbing Man stuff was awesome.
yes.
Like I loved the whole Absorbing Man arc. I didn't like how it ended. I thought the ending of it was really dumb, but I liked the arc itself. Like the arc itself was fun.
Yeah, and I still think probably one of the best arcs was the Winter Soldier tie-in.
Oh yeah, that was great. Like getting to see Nick Fury appear on Agents of Shield and stuff was so good. Oh my gosh, that was wonderful. And
Yeah.
then it was weird that what's his face became a Hydra agent. I think that was the only thing that came out of it that I wasn't really a big
Oh,
fan of.
Grant Ward. Yeah.
Yeah, because I liked Grant Ward, and I was like, oh, he's such a good, upstanding dude. But then it turns out he's just Hydra Man, and I'm like, oh, okay. That makes him way less interesting of a character. Um,
Oh, he gets less interesting as he continues on the show.
oh, does he really? Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool to hear. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, so he ends up getting controlled by like an ancient inhuman like parasite.
Oh, okay. Why?
Yeah, I forget. It's an actual character from the comics.
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
think his name is Parasite. I don't remember. Yeah, so he gets taken over, and that's how he continues to be on the show for that season. until
Mm.
Coulson kills him in a very awkward way.
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
that's fun, I guess.
yeah. But of course, the
Mm.
Ghost Rider stuff I liked it a lot as well.
I thought that was a turning point for the show, because I was like,
Yes.
oh, this is where it's really gonna get dark, and we're gonna start getting a little bit more adult because the time slot for the show has changed. And
Hmm.
then it's like, no, no, just for when Ghost Rider's around. That's the only time where we'll get a little violent. I'm like, okay, whatever. I do still like Quake. I think Quake is probably the coolest character on the show. Um,
Yeah,
at this point.
her character development was definitely on a roller coaster throughout the whole show.
But I think overall I like where she's ended up, you know. And not a terrible run of television. I mean, you could watch worse stuff. There is worse stuff to see out there.
But
Yep.
yeah, hey, other than that, yeah, that was pretty much it for all the news, except for the final piece here.
Oh, well, wait, before we do the final piece, Patton Oswalt is reprising, not reprising his role, but he's coming back for that last season
Oh,
of
that's
Agents
right.
of Shield.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah.
it's heavily I'm heavily speculating that he's probably going to end up being a character in the Agent Carter crossover episode whenever that one happens. Because they
Mm,
said he's not playing the character he was playing originally, which was the inventor of the life model decoys.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
which is like the fact that life model decoys made it onto Agents of Shield and not into the movies is also still a big sore sticking point for me, because I'm like, they're so cool and they never go anywhere. And there's an episode where there are like 9 Patton Oswalds because they're all just life model decoys of him. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. And that was some good stuff on the show too with the life model decoys.
Oh yeah, all that stuff
Yeah.
was pretty fun.
Oh, because yeah, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, there's story things that happen with that and everything. Um,
Hmm.
but I was definitely I'm happy Patton Oswalt's back, but I'm kind of sad he's not the inventor guy. Because I did like that character. He was a very goofy character to see on the show.
Yeah, he was a
Um,
fun time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be fun to see him back on the series in some capacity. Who knows? Maybe he'll be like the ancestor of that inventor dude or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that probably like a grandfather or something.
Yep.
Like what they did in Homecoming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Yoshida or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Japanese guy who helps out Captain America.
Yeah, his grandfather's his grandson's the principal for Peter's school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool little moment. That would be cool. I'm into that. But yeah, that's the last bit of Agents of Shield news that I saw today. So
So yeah, man, let's get into this last piece here. Speaking of Ghost Rider, Marvel says they're working on a new Ghost Rider project.
yes, that has nothing to do with the original Hulu series they were going to be making,
That's right.
which is a dang shame because that Hulu series was going to be awesome, and I'm super sad it's not coming out anymore.
Yeah, man, that was the Gabriel Luna one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see Gabriel Luna keep being Ghost Rider because he did a really good job. And I was like, and he's the second Ghost Rider. Like, so we have a chance to see Johnny Cage show up somewhere. Like, who knows? Maybe they make it Nicolas Cage still. That would be cool. But no, no, no. But I'm excited still to see a Ghost Rider anything.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Like I said, we don't know if it's a movie or a show. I'm probably gonna bet it's a show.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Would it fit on Disney Plus? I don't think it would.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like,
Mandalorian's a little dark. The darkest they could probably go with it though is just what Mandalorian does, where it's all like off-screen deaths and stuff.
which is unfortunate because if you have Ghost Rider, you want to be flashy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to be violent a little bit with Ghost Rider. He's a fun one to have be a violent character. I personally hope they go for a movie over a series. I think because then you could tie him in with Blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I would be kind of into that. That would be cool. I don't really know too much else about this announcement stuff going on with Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing. They're like, yeah, it's happening.
Okay. It's just, yeah, we're making it. Okay. I mean, I figured they'd probably have something for it in development. It's just interesting. It's going the opposite. It might go the opposite direction of like all the Star Wars stuff, where it's like the Star Wars movies are being made into TV shows, and now all the Marvel TV shows are being turned into movies. Like,
Hmm. And the reason we saved it for last is, since we have all this downtime during these troubled times here in the world, decided
yes,
that, you know what, it's time to go back and rewatch some classic comic book movies.
gotta hit those. Gotta hit the starting blocks. Every once in a while. So soon we're gonna get you to watch Spider-Man 3, the editor's cut.
Yeah,
So
I
that way
still
we
need to
can
do
have a
that.
whole discussion on that. But you know what? Before we end up doing that episode, I know that I want to rewatch the original Spider-Man 3 so I can really see what the differences are. Because I honestly, I don't remember. um, so maybe it's good that we've waited this long. But me and you both in the past, like I would say month and a half, we've both rewatched recently the first Ghost Rider.
Yes, the classic Nick Cage film, Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Still one of my favorites. Even if all the villains are too easy to beat, I still think it's one of my favorite older superhero movies.
Yeah, it was a good time. I like Nick Cage as Johnny Blaze. I still think he does a good job
Oh, I
with
called him Johnny Cage. Ha. Yeah,
Johnny.
Johnny Blaze, that's his name.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze. Yeah.
Oh man. Um I got to give a shout out to Nicolas Cage in that movie trying to look like he's in his late 20s and being in his like late 30s. Um
Hmm.
it's beautiful going back and watching that movie and realizing just like how old he is compared to like everyone else in the film. I'm like, "Oh no, he's like an old man." Like I love his fake abs in that one
Yeah,
scene.
I remembered that, like, there's CG abs in this film for no
Yeah,
reason.
they're CG abs. It's pretty wonderful that they're uh like they're CG abs, and then you've got all this other stuff that he just does, all the random quirks of Nicolas Cage, like eating like Skittles out of a giant cup.
Yeah.
Um, Beautiful, absolutely amazing. Like, and that wasn't like anybody telling him to do it. He just wanted that. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what I want from Nicolas Cage. That's what I want. That's perfect.
This is definitely a pinnacle, like, early mid 2000 film for sure.
Oh yeah, I would say that this was Mr. Director what's his name Mark Steve Johnson. This was his magnum opus in terms of these Marvel superhero movies because he
Mm.
got to write Daredevil and Elektra, but he
Oh,
directed and wrote this one. So oh no, he directed Daredevil also. Oh
oh,
my
okay,
God, but he did not direct Elektra. He just wrote it. Oh
okay.
wait, and his only writing credit on it is the motion picture characters. So he didn't even have anything to do with the screenplay of Elektra.
Oh,
Oh wow, that's beautiful. He wrote Christopher Robin? What? Wow. Okay. I had no idea he wrote Christopher Robin. That's pretty cool. Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, Ghost Rider is definitely like that is like the pinnacle of his Marvel movies. Uh Man, Ghost Rider was pretty dang good. I can't lie. Like going back and rewatching it was pretty fun.
yeah. I like the, it's very simple, right? Type of film. There's really not a whole
Oh yeah,
lot of depth for the movie, which I'm fine with, because you have to think back of the times when this movie came out,
yeah.
and
There's no big moral quandaries or anything like that in this movie. Um, there's just a bad guy from hell who wants to take over the world, and Ghost Rider's got to stop him.
yeah. I gotta say, I still love the scene of him transforming for the first time, and during the prison cell part too, or the jail cell part.
Yeah. Oh, the prison cell scene is great. Like that
Hmm.
that one is so good. God, that one's awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. And it was funny, when I was watching the movie, I kept thinking about Spirit of Vengeance, the sequel, and just how crazier that film is. As far as like Nick Cage's performance of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a wild movie. But yeah, man, no, I still like this. I still like this movie. I would like Nick Cage to come back if he would as Ghost Rider. That would be fun.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Nicolas Cage come back as like an old Ghost Rider. Like he's just been Ghost Rider for like 30 years or something at this point. Like that would be pretty fun. Like I could be into that.
I don't know if you remember, but in Agents of Shield with the Gabriel Luna Ghost Rider, we get a flashback of how he became Ghost Rider, and it was Johnny Blaze that saves him from this car accident. And I was like, oh, I always like the fun rumors of them saying like, oh, what if that could be Nick Cage? You know, if they were to continue the Ghost Rider story.
Yeah, man, that would have been awesome. Like getting Nicolas Cage in on Agents of Shield would have been. Oh my God, can you imagine him and Clark Gregg?
Yeah.
That would have been so good. So let me get this straight. You guys are a bunch of secret agents? That would have been beautiful. But no, I going back and watching the movie, I love all the different actors that are in it. Like I miss I didn't realize how much I miss seeing Eva Mendes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Until rewatching this, that she was great in the whole thing. Like, not only was she very attractive, but I also thought she was actually just good in the movie. And then Peter Fonda as as the devil is perfect. Like, such a good casting. Dude,
Yeah.
like, you could not have casted a better person to play Satan. Like, that was so good. And it's too bad he wasn't able to come back for the second movie to be the devil again.
Yeah.
Because the devil's like a completely different actor. It's the movie holds up, I think, pretty well, except for the fight scenes. Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? So there's the four main villains, and it's all just one-hit kills for the first three grunts.
Yep.
Until he fights Blackheart.
I mean, I do like that Blackheart isn't just an outright fight. Like, he has to figure out, like, an alternate way to beat him. Like, I don't mind that. It's just that, like, after the first three guys being pushovers, and then, like, this being, like, the least climactic way to do it ever, I was like, that kind of sucks.
I still like the scene of Johnny turning the shotgun in the shadows to shoot Blackheart. I still like that scene a lot.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was awesome. And I like how they how menacing they make all the bad guys at first when like they just kill all the people in that one bar.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty good scene. Like I'm like, that's pretty spooky and scary. I like that. That's good.
And man, you know what really holds up in this movie still is the transformation. Just watch his face burn off and everything.
Oh yeah, honestly, the fire effects still look great. Like for a movie from 2007, like the fire effects in that film are honestly really good. Like, and I still remember like going back and rewatching like the special features and stuff for that movie, and like how they like figured out like a brand new simulation program to simulate flames and stuff, because they were like, flames are never the same like in the same like 5-span like sequence, so they all have to be different, like wildly different. So it pretty cool like CG technology was made from that film, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like the skull head, it still looks a little dated.
Yeah, the skull itself is a little funky, but like the fire effects, like they look great. And I love the whole scene of him riding up the side of the building. Oh man, so good. Like
yeah, I was just thinking about that scene. It's perfect, man.
Yeah. So there's still a lot to love about that movie. And and even at, like right at the very beginning, like the ridiculous stunt that like Nicolas Cage sets up where he jumps over like 10 helicopters, like so good, man. So good. Oh, that had me dying. Like that's so funny. I don't know how much else I have to say about the movie other than just it's just a good old-fashioned good time. I like Sam Elliott as the old Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, he was great.
But it sucks that he just turns into the Ghost Rider to literally ride next to Nicolas Cage, and then he leaves. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah, that's the only part where it's like, come on, man.
That was my last ride. It's like, why was that your last ride? Why not helping me here is your last ride? Like, you could have ridden on the motorcycle.
He could have helped fought the water demon.
Yeah,
Was it?
exactly. Like it would have been interesting if that's where he used his last ride up at, was like fighting the water demon. Like instead of Nicolas Cage being the one to do it, like it's got to be Sam Elliott or something.
Yeah,
Like he burns himself out heating the water up too much or something. Like that would have been cool. But you
yeah.
know, this is a 13-year-old movie, so I can't
Can't
really
really.
like yeah, I think everybody's said these things before at one point.
Hmm. Rewatching
um
some scenes right now, and there's some good scenes with Ghost Rider in here. So when he confronts Blackheart for the first time, right, and he gets hung by the chain and his flame goes out, and then it just
oh
comes
yeah, that
back.
part's great.
Now, the scene where he gets submerged underwater.
Oh yeah, yeah. He immediately like flames on and then just boils the water up. So good.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh man. There's some good action parts in this movie, man. There's it's not all terrible. Oh, famously, this movie is one of Rebel Wilson's first roles. Do you remember where Rebel Wilson shows up in this movie? Cuz she's in the trailer.
Oh
Um
my gosh! Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's
yeah,
the emo chick. Yeah,
she's the goth girl who sees Ghost Rider and is like, he was like super hot and his head was like on fire
on
and
fire like
stuff.
like.
Yeah. And I was rewatching the movie and I was like, no way. That's her. Oh man, just such a classic Rebel Wilson role. I think if they ever do some type of like Oscars thing where they do a big montage of all of her roles, they got to show that one.
And to my surprise, because this was when I first watched this is probably when it came out. This predates my consumption of Sobies, and to my delightful surprise, that the Sobe Dome was in this movie.
That's right.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
fun.
the non-existent Sobe Dome, right? Like that's not a real place. Like
Yeah, so Connor looked it up, and this dome, it's not called the Sobe Dome, but it was a dome that Marvel acquired during, like, before the film, and it's over in Australia.
huh,
Yeah, super
interesting.
weird, super weird.
Okay. I mean, it there are a lot of different like cheaper things for filming stuff out in Australia, mostly because of like that's where they like shoot all the Power Rangers stuff. Um
Hmm.
so maybe there's something behind that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they still own it too to this day. But yeah, anyways, discovering the Sobe Dome, I found Ghost Rider had promotional work with Sobe. There's like a Ghost Rider poster and Sobe next to it, and I thought that's pretty cool.
What do you have it yet? Did you order one? Like,
No, there's
oh man.
this is during like their the Adrenaline Rush series for Sobe. It's like their energy drink, like a monster, basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Here, yeah, here's that poster. Okay. Oh, that's tight. Man, when are you cosplaying stunt show Johnny Blaze? Does he have a Sobe logo on his jacket anywhere? Like is he
No,
sponsored?
but you know what? I will put a Sobe logo on it.
Cuz I mean, if anybody's going to sponsor Johnny Blaze, it's got to be freaking it's got to be Sobe, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I was just watching the movie and I just looked up and said, "Oh wait, what? Sobe Dome? Go back, go back."
you're like, "Wait, no. This is important."
I was glad I went back to watch Ghost Rider. It was a fun time.
Oh yeah. That one's always a good watch. And I think it's got it surprisingly has a nice wholesome ending too, uh,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty into it, man. It's a good movie, good all around, just good all around movie.
Oh boy, yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna go check out Spirit of Vengeance again. I don't know.
I mean, I haven't seen Spirit of Vengeance. But
No? Oh,
I can't imagine that it's anywhere near as good as this one. This one just has some certain charm to it that like just those early 2000s like superhero movies have. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, dude! There's one of these Soviet Adrenaline posters where he's on the motorcycle.
Yes, yeah. I was looking at that one.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, I
so
need that.
good,
I need that
man.
framed. I need that framed over here.
We just gotta get you this whole series of posters, man. Like,
Do you know the plot for Spirit of Vengeance, Jake?
no, I have no idea what happens in that movie. I just know
So
that at some
it's
point he bewitches a giant like earth mover, which is like the coolest part of the film. Oh,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now, so
yeah,
basically, what
like
happens is he's losing his sanity because he's been the writer for too long, I guess.
okay.
And while this is happening, Idris Elba shows up to recruit him to help escort this child, who we find out is like the Antichrist.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Yeah,
like that's actually a pretty interesting story for it, but I'm sure that the execution is terrible. Like,
yeah. This was a Marvel Knights film as well, if you remember that era, right? They also did Punisher Warzone, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's those kind of films, and it ends with him becoming the was it the Angel Rider? I think they called it.
The Angel Rider? What is that?
Yeah, so because the devil shows back up, and I think he tries to steal the Ghost Rider powers again, and
Okay.
then Nick Cage. I
Oh, is
forget
it Blue
exactly
Ghost
what.
Rider? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what it
Blue
is?
Ghost Rider. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
they're like angel flames instead of like hell flames or something. I don't really remember. I kind of like just I didn't really watch the movie, um, so it's a
All right.
little rough. Yeah,
I'm pulling the scene up here in the background so I can see this fight scene. I mean, he looks cool.
I do. The one thing I
Oh,
do
here we
like
go.
about
Here
Spirit
we
of
go. Now
Vengeance is
now I got it.
the on the flames on the skull. They actually added some smoke to it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at the smoke effects right now and it's pretty good. I got just anytime Nicolas Cage transforms though is like my favorite because he just goes nuts. Like I love like his maniacal laughing and stuff. Like
Yeah,
it's so good.
yeah. The skull definitely looks better in this film.
Okay, is Rourke is he the devil
Yeah, I think he's the
in
devil
this
for
one?
this one. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what it is interesting to see in for this movie is that Nick Cage's skull is more charred. It's like blackened a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, like he's been doing it a lot, so it's a little burned up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it was. He's been transforming too much as the writer. And then
That would
oh
make
yeah,
sense.
he can also transform during the daylight as well, which is he couldn't do that in the first movie.
Yeah, yeah, that was like a whole thing of his powers in the first movie. Hey, that's not Ava Mendez. Who's that lady?
No, it's
That's
not.
not her. That is super not Ava Mendez.
Oh no, yeah, that's the mom. That's the mom for the Antichrist kid. I,
Oh, that's it. Okay. And then oh, there's the kid that's supposed to be the Antichrist. Okay, and then he's returning the kid to the mom. Oh,
yeah.
now he's got the blue fire. Okay. He's got a blue skeleton hand. Even though he's got a normal Nick Cage face. That's weird. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's got like the blue motorcycle at the end. Woo, neat.
hmm Yeah, just the one thing I remember is like Nick Cage was acting pretty crazy in this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I remember seeing some clips of like this movie. He just went full balls to the wall, like insanity. Um,
kind of like Mandy tier stuff, right? Like that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
first
Like
half of
man, like
Mandy.
I'd say this is like the beginning of the Mandy era of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it's not quite like he you know I think this is at like the second one's after National Treasure 2. And National Treasure 2 was like the last like normal person movie he did. Because everything after National Treasure 2 is just like just crazy.
But yeah, man, I think with that, it's safe to say it's we could go ahead and wrap up this episode.
Oh yeah. I think we did some good Marvel talking. We talked some DC, talked some Star Wars. Um, you know, it was a fun time, man. I miss doing these. We gotta get a few more recorded in here, because I sure as heck don't have anything else going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of downtime, as we all
Yep.
know. So we'll try to get some more episodes out. On the way, we'll be, of course, looking at older films to come back to.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah. It would be kind of fun to do a prequels episode, like a full episode just on those. I think at some point, because I got some more stuff I could say about the prequels. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So thanks for swinging by, guys. Great to be back doing some Marvel talk. And while
Oh
we're
yeah.
waiting for these future episodes to come, Jake, where can we find you at, man?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. I'm not doing a whole lot online right now, just because like cosplay has been kind of stopped up a little bit. But I did just get my Anakin Skywalker outfit all put together. Got to practice the face makeup so I can get the scar going on one eye, and the hair growth is happening, man. I'm gonna have Anakin Skywalker hair, 100%. And where can we find you, Danny? Where's that?
As always, you can find me at Negator7 anywhere on social media and over on our other podcast, Unversed Podcast. We're dropping a lot of episodes a week. Thanks for listening, guys. And remember, let's ride. Hey guys, I know this is the end of the episode here, but you know what? We're recording this episode early for those who don't know, so I could get it up on schedule. As it usually tends to happen, there's always some new news after we record.
Always, every time. It's like it's just we have the worst luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is good news though. This is really good news. I like both of these things.
Yeah, so we already talked about it during the show, but New Mutants, we finally got a new release date for it, August 24th for theaters. And honestly, man, I just really hope we keep this date, because I was talking to a friend earlier, and I was like, I hope this isn't the new Gambit movie. You know, we've already gone through so much for this film.
Well, see, I think there's a big difference between this and Gambit, right? Because Gambit never even made it past like development stages.
Yeah.
Like nothing was ever shot for that movie or anything. But this movie's done. Like it's in the can. It's been in the can for 2 years. So it's like if it doesn't end up getting to theaters, I feel like it'll eventually just get released somewhere down the line. I don't know where, but somewhere. But hopefully, hey, if movie theaters start reopening, we may not see it here in Southern California because the governor decided to announce today that Southern California locations are under quarantine still until maybe September.
Oof.
So
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Is this? I feel like this movie is sort of testing the waters for how the box office is right now.
Yeah, I would see that because there isn't really too much of a risk anymore for them to just put it out and just see how it does. Because they've already lost like so much money on this movie.
Yeah, it's a wild roller coaster, this one.
I can't wait for another round of Doritos bags that's gonna have the New Mutants logos on it.
Yeah,
that should be a good time.
But yeah, that was it for New Mutants. Yeah, just cool to see it get another date. At least it's this year, right, and not next year.
Yeah, at least it's this year. That's what I'm happy about. Like that'll be good. If it was coming out next year with everything else, like, oh my god, that's just too many movies.
Yeah,
next
exactly.
Year. Like, I keep thinking about it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So many movies. But hopefully this one works out. I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, really hope so. And then on to this other piece that just dropped recently. Interesting announcement here. Doom Patrol, right? The DC Universe show is getting a season 2, and it's dropping June 25th, but it's dropping on HBO Max.
Yeah, the DC Universe app seems to be losing it. But I think this was kind of rumored a while back. Was that DC Universe was going to get folded into some other streaming service later on down the line that Warner Brothers would own. So if all these DC Universe things are coming out on HBO Max, that might be where the DC Universe app ends up going to. Which would be a shame because I think that they're not going to keep the access to the comic books. Which would be too bad.
Yeah, that'd be too bad. And also all the old like movies, the Christopher Reeve Superman films and all that.
Yeah. But I think the implication is that HBO Max is going to get a lot of that stuff, right? Like,
okay.
I think those are getting transferred over.
I could see that. I think the final nail in the coffin for the DC Universe app would probably be when they move Harley Quinn, and I don't know if Young Justice is over or not, but if they move that as well, then it's pretty much safe to say that the app would be done, because we didn't talk about it, but there's rumors for a Teen Titans spinoff, right? They have their live action Titan show. There might be a spinoff either for HBO Max or the CW.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be a cool way to bring him, like, cross him over, like, actually cross him over, not just like fake do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I looked up an article here. So it looks like HBO Max is going to be starting off with having Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League streaming. No confirmation, obviously, of any Snyder Cut version, but those will all be on there. And then every Batman and Superman movie since the '78 Batman or Superman is going to be on there. So it doesn't sound like they're going to get any of the old Batman serials or the Fleischer cartoons, but pretty much everything else modern is going to be there. And then nobody knows if the CW shows are going to pop up.
Well, I know the CW shows that those are on Netflix. They have a contract over there.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Batwoman is going to be on HBO Max.
Oh,
great. And season 1 of Doom Patrol will be on HBO Max also.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So you'll be able to watch the whole series on there. What? It's also going to have all of Game of Thrones, all of Friends, Rick and Morty. It's going to have quite a bit of stuff.
This is going to be a big app. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going to have a pretty solid setup going on here. Did you hear they announced a new Adventure Time show for HBO Max?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a new show coming out that's based on BMO, the little Game Boy guy. That's just all going to be about him.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, Finn and Jake are kind of the main characters, but whatever. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. Should be a good time.
Yeah, man, I'm getting hyped more and more for HBO Max. And again, just to reiterate, yeah, they're gonna have the Green Lantern show.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It's gonna be a good time. I'd assume Scoob will probably end up on there at some point, just because it's
I guess so, huh?
It's Warner Brothers, it's a whole thing. They own all that Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah, and I saw that's going straight to streaming as well. That's not hitting theaters.
Yeah, that one's going straight there.
Yeah,
I think we talked about that earlier, but yeah.
I mean, and that's fine, right?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't know. I'm still excited to hear Mark Wahlberg play the Blue Falcon. I think that's a pretty inspired casting right there.
So that pretty much was all the new stuff that we missed out on in the main section of the show. That's pretty much it, man. Yeah, so again, just thanks for sticking around, guys. Listen to the episodes, and we're going to catch you on the next one.